As we head into what probably will be the coldest weekend of the winter, I thought this would be an appropriate time to summarize what it's been like so far. Here's how temperatures have compared to average since December 1st, the start of meteorological winter. Generally 5 to as much as 8 degrees above the long-term average. These are fairly large anomalies for a 10-week period. For the winter overall to end up colder than average is now next to impossible, though just for fun, here's what the temperature for the rest of February would have to be for that to happen. A few individual days will likely be this far below average this weekend, but not the rest of the month as a whole. Of course, around this time last year, brutally cold air did come in and stay pretty much to the end of February. But a big difference between then and now is the state of the Great Lakes. Here's last year at this time. The blue and greens depict water temperature, so where you see those colors, the lakes are unfrozen. White and light gray mean partial ice coverage, while dark gray and black mean almost totally frozen over. So last year at this time, only Superior and Michigan had a lot of open water. The total ice cover on the lakes was almost 50%. Now here's this year. Every lake with plenty of open water. In total, only about 6% of the surface area is frozen right now. And with the lakes much more open this year, some of the bitter edge will be taken off any air that comes into Pennsylvania from the northwest, though it also means that pockets of significant lake effect snow are likely, rather unusual this late in winter. And speaking of ice, in the last decade or so, the Arctic has increasingly made news because of big changes there. Here's a look at the area in the Arctic covered by sea ice. That's on the vertical axis. The horizontal axis is the month, January on the left, December on the right. The thick dark line is the long-term average. The peak occurs typically in late February and early March. So coming up soon, the grayish envelope around the average shows the typical variability from year to year. Now here's 2016 so far, and we'll zoom in. Notice it's right on the lower edge of that envelope, well below average. Now 1 year doesn't make a trend, so let me also show 2012 through 2015. They're also below the average. And now here's the 5 years before that. Same idea, all clustered below the long-term average. And this kind of behavior isn't just happening at this time of the year. The same is occurring in late summer, when the ice is at its average minimum extent. The bottom line is that Arctic sea ice is on the decline, and what happens in the Arctic does not stay in the Arctic. Through feedbacks that are not completely understood right now, decreasing Arctic sea ice is likely having an impact on mid-latitude weather, a topic I've covered before in WeatherWise. Ben is back next with the extended forecast.